The other day, I was on a call with a young professional and they wanted to break into digital marketing and eventually start their own marketing agency. And one of the questions they asked me was, Alif, how do I become a better networker? And that conversation really inspired me to create this video where I'll show you exactly how I've built a solid network of people that's landed me clients, speaking gigs, influencer collaborations, and even jobs in the past. And if you haven't met yet, my name is Alif. I run an email marketing business here in Toronto, Ontario, and I make a lot of content around marketing, business, self-development, things of that nature. So if you are interested in that stuff, be sure to subscribe. So this is the networking flywheel, and let me break down to you how it works from a very high level, then I'll go into more granular detail. So we'll start with the top left. Okay, you see the two people shaking their hands? Yeah, we'll start there. So first is you meet people, then you add them to social media, then you do a one-on-one call with them. You then post content on that social media platform. You message them or leave comments on their posts, and then you simply repeat. And you just keep doing this over and over again, and eventually it'll help you land a solid network of people. But I know what you're thinking, Alif, is it really that simple? Well, actually, it's a little more intricate than that. Let me explain to you what I mean. So what we'll do is we'll go through each of the steps in more detail now, okay? Starting with meeting people. So you ever hear the word, your network is your net worth? At first, when I first heard this, I was like, whatever, it's just like a saying, whatever, it's not even that. But it wasn't until recently I really realized that this is very true. For example, when I was trying to make my first $5,000, I didn't really know how I go about it, but I knew that I had to reach out to people and essentially sell them on my service or even ask for referrals. So what I did was I cold DM'd and cold called a bunch of my connections and friends and people I've known, asking them if they're interested in my marketing services. And eventually by the end of the month, I made my first $5,000. And what's crazy is after I made that, I reflected back on why this worked. And I really realized that, wow, if I didn't know all these people, this money wouldn't be in my bank account. And so that saying, your network is your net worth, really hit home for me. I was like, wow, this is fact. This is true. Your network is literally your net worth. And so you can't build a network of people unless you're meeting people. And that's why the first step of this networking wheelhouse is to meet people. How do you meet people? Well, through networking events, workshops, conferences, online forums, Facebook groups, meetups, Slack channels, coaching programs. Essentially, you want to meet people and bring them into your bucket of people that you know. Next, let's say you go to an event or a conference, you meet some cool people, but then you need to still capture them somehow so that you can continue and nurture that relationship after the event. How many times have you been to an event or like a networking event that you found online? You go there, you meet some cool people, you come home and you realize like, I got nothing really out of that, maybe some cool conversations, but that's pretty much it. Have you ever been there? Because I have. And that's the problem we want to avoid, right? Because let's say we go to like a software conference or some sort. We meet some really cool people that we think would help us land more opportunities in the future and that we can possibly help out. That relationship goes nowhere if we're just like, hey, good talking with you, all right, bye. We still need to stay connected with them. And that's why when we meet them, we want to add them to social media. Personally, for me, I like using LinkedIn because it's just the platform that I'm on, but you can use like Instagram and stuff if you want, if you're more comfortable there. But I like to add them on LinkedIn. So now that we've connected with them, now we have them on social media, we need to deepen that relationship because the truth is that person also met a bunch of other people during that event, right? They're busy as well, they have their lives going on. So we need to go from being a stranger we just met to being a friend, right? We need to transition the relationship towards a deeper level of connection. Why? Because here's the thing, if you want to land more referrals, you want to land more clients, you want to get more jobs, people will refer you to opportunities if they like, know, and trust you. If they just met you one time at an event, the odds of them like following up and being like, by the way, I think you're great for this job, great for this client, great for this opportunity, the odds of them doing that is gonna be very low because you've yet to establish like, know, and trust. And so our goal now at this point is we've met them in an event, we've captured them on social media so we can nurture that relationship. we now need to deepen that relationship. And oftentimes what I personally like to do is just go on simple 30 to an hour long Zoom calls. And if you're wondering, how do I reach out and ask for a Zoom call? Very simple, a few ideas for you. You can ask them for career advice. Maybe you're job searching right now for a marketing job and you meet a cool director of marketing and you think that this person can help you land opportunities. You can just reach out to them and be like, hey, can I ask you for some career advice over a 15-minute Zoom call? Like, that's it, right? For me personally, I like to network with other small business owners. And so we all know the value of networking to build our network. And so I like to reach out to people and ask them, hey, it was great chatting with you at the event. I love what you're up to. I think you're really cool. You want to just jump on a 30-minute networking call just to like learn more about each other? And usually they're like, yeah, that'd be cool, because they know that if they connect with me, that can land them opportunities, and if I connect with them, it can land them opportunities. So it's a mutually beneficial relationship. Now we're at the friend level. We still have one problem to solve. Let's say you go on the Zoom call and then you don't really talk to them after that. They're gonna forget about you, right? Like, what if they come across a potential opportunity for you, like a job, a client, or whatever, but because you haven't talked to them in a while, they forget about you and they pass on the opportunity to another person. How do we solve this problem? Well, it's actually through creating content. Here's the thing, we have them on social media, right? We need to remind them of our existence, the fact that we still exist in their world. But we don't want to be like, by the way, hey, do you have any jobs for me? Hey, do you have a client for me? Hey, do you have this opportunity for me? That gets annoying. So what can you do to combat that doesn't seem too intrusive? By posting stuff on social media that you originally captured them on. So if you connected with someone on LinkedIn, posting content on LinkedIn, you know, what if they're going throughout the day, they're just randomly scrolling their LinkedIn and they see your profile and they're like, oh yeah, Leaf exists. Oh yeah, cool. Awesome, it seems like he's doing good. Awesome, I'll keep in mind. And then maybe 3 weeks later, they see another piece of content and they're like, you know what? I do need some email marketing help. Alif, oh yeah, I met Alif. He was a cool guy. We're gonna call with him and he was a nice person and everything. He seemed like he knew what he's doing. Oh yeah, Alif exists. Okay, cool. Let me reach out to him, ask him if he wants this opportunity, right? We're trying to keep ourselves top of mind to the people that we just connected with. And we do that by posting stuff on social media so that they don't forget about us. And if they do come across an opportunity, they think of us first. Now, here's the thing, you might be intimidated by the idea of posting on social media, but here are two helpful tips that's helped myself, people I've coached and everything, to post more content. First, you don't have to post every day. You know, start with once a week, simple once a week post. Like, that's it. It's something very small and easy. And second, you don't have to post anything out of this world mind-blowing. You can literally find a cool article about marketing or whatever and just share it on your LinkedIn and be like, this is a cool article. I learned this from the article, and just post a link to the article. Like, that's it. It's not polarizing. It's not divisive. People aren't going to judge you. Very simple step that you can take and just do that once a week. You know, that's not that too big of a deal, right? It's not too much work. You're not like putting yourself in a super uncomfortable situation, but it's enough to just get the ball rolling. And if you still don't know what to post about, you always have your friend ChatGPT to give you ideas for what to write about. But that's still not good enough, because the truth is, maybe we'll post something but it doesn't get enough engagement, and so the person doesn't see our stuff, or maybe they're scrolling and they see your stuff and they have an opportunity for you, but they're like, I don't want to really reach out to them, and then maybe they feel intimidated or whatever it is, or they just get busy so they don't actually reach out to you. We still need something to do on top of that'll essentially increase the chances of us landing an opportunity. So what can we do more than what we've already been doing? And that is messaging/commenting. Let me explain what I mean. You see, it's not enough to just post something and hopefully they see it and then hopefully they message. We still need to go in for the kill, for lack of better terms. And that usually means just simply shooting them a message. And I don't mean selling them, not like, hey, by the way, do you know any opportunities? I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is sending them a quick note, being like, hey, I came across this article and I just thought of you. Maybe it'll be helpful for you. Feel free to have a read. Or, hey, I remember you told me that you had a birthday on this day for your niece. Just want to check in how it went. Like, simple messages that is nice and personalized and tailored to them, so that, you know, it essentially gives them permission to talk to you. And so simple things like, hey, I was thinking about you, or hey, I remember in our last call, you gave me this piece of advice. I applied that piece of advice and this is the results it got. Thank you so much for giving me that piece of advice. Like simple notes like that go a long way. And then you just want to repeat, repeat, repeat. Essentially, you're going to meet more people at more events and go put them through this entire process and meet more people and more events and put them through the entire process. And eventually your network will grow, 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 grow over time. And then soon you'll have a solid network that'll help you land more opportunities, speaking gigs, collaborations, clients, jobs, whatever it is that you are looking for. By the way, if you're enjoying this video, be sure to subscribe to my newsletter. I'll link to it down below in the description of this video. I'll also link to a few free courses on how to break into digital marketing and how to make your first $5,000 as a freelance marketer. Again, you can check them all out down below in the description of this video. Now, let me give you some examples of me using this in my everyday life. So as you can see, this is my friend Ryan, and I actually met him through my brother, and he was hosting an event, and I thought, hey, let me check out this event because again, I need to meet people as part of this networking wheelhouse. I went to the event, and I really liked his vibe. He was a really smart guy, somewhat quirky, very interesting, and we got along really well at the event. And so what I did was I told him like, hey man, it was really good to meet you. Let's go out for coffee. And we actually went out for coffee like maybe like 3-4 times because I really enjoyed my conversation with him. And then, you know, we'd message back and forth. I had a book idea for him. And so I was like, hey man, I think you should really check out this book because it's really helped me. So it may help you. And then he would make posts and I would make posts. I would leave comments on his posts. He sometimes would leave comments on my posts. Again, you can see I'm nurturing the relationship. Eventually, he shot me a message and he's like, got a lead for you. What email should I send? Intro email. Boom, landed a client through him. Here's another one. This is my dear friend Lukey. He's also a great mentor to me. And essentially the way I met him was a long time ago. I messaged him asking for some advice on like some business idea I had. We continued the relationship from there. We go back and forth. We've had coffee probably a bunch of times, went on a number of Zoom catch-up calls, comment on his posts. I leave comments on his posts. He leaves comments on my posts. And eventually he's like, hey, Alif, I've been meaning to do this YouTube thing. How much would you charge for this YouTube thing? And boom, we ended up working together and I landed a new client. Here's another interesting one. This is Jonathan. So Jonathan is a big influencer on LinkedIn. He runs a company called Onesalting. And back then I would comment on a lot of his posts, like lots of comments to the point where he definitely knew I existed. And because I had email marketing on my LinkedIn profile, eventually he noticed I was commenting so much that his team needed an email marketing person. And so instead of going on Fiverr or all these other websites that you can find email marketing people for, because I kept commenting and I stayed top of mind for him, he ended up reaching out and asked me, tell me more about your email marketing. Do you have specific rates? Thank you so much, and examples. And then boom, follow-up conversation from there and landed him as a client. But again, you can see here, just the commenting alone kept me top of mind for him. So when an opportunity came for him where he was looking for someone who specialized in email marketing, he naturally thought of me. So here is another example that helped me to land a job interview. And so you can see in the image, this is my friend Changir. I met him through LinkedIn, and good friend of mine, we hung out a bunch, invited him to some events I was hosting, coffee chats. Again, same thing, right? Left comments on his posts, he leaves comments on my posts, we go back and forth on LinkedIn. Eventually, at this stage of my life, I was looking for a marketing role, and so I reached out to him because he does have a recruiting experience and asked him if he knew of any marketing opportunities, and eventually he set up an interview for me because he likes me and he knows what I'm all about, right? And we're good friends. But you can see here, just by nurturing that relationship, eventually when I needed something, he was there to help me. And of course, I would do the same back for him. And this is also my friend Justin. So he met me through these YouTube videos and we did a lot of back and forth. He asked me a lot of questions. We built that relationship. We got on a call and everything. We vibed really well. And eventually he's like, I'd love to have you on my podcast. And we ended up recording a podcast. So this is an example of a collaboration. Now, a couple things to note here, and these are very important things to note. First, It takes time to see results, and this is the part that's gonna suck, but you're not gonna see immediate results right away. This is a long-term play. Eventually, you'll reach to a point where your network is so solid that you have a lot of people you can reach out to. So whenever you do need anything, you can always fall back on them, but you won't see results right away. So literally, if you start this tomorrow, don't expect to land a job the next day. It does take time. Next, this is gonna be a messy process because when I was doing this, I was like beating myself up for not following up with everyone and keeping on track with everyone I meet at events, uh, and then some people I fell off, some people I still stay in touch with, and all that. It essentially became messy, and I just want you to know that if you're gonna experience that, it's okay. It's okay to experience the fact that this is a messy process, and so unlike me, don't beat yourself up for it. And next thing to note, and this is very important, is you want to network with your target audience. So if you're looking for marketing jobs right now, it's important you do this strategy with people who are already in marketing roles, ideally people who are senior in their marketing career. If you're trying to land clients like software clients, you want to do this strategy with people who run software businesses or software or are marketers working in software, right? You want to do this approach with the people that are most likely to land you opportunities. Lastly, this does require discipline. It's very tedious to leave comments. It's very tedious to make posts. It's very tedious to follow up with people. It's very tedious to start a conversation, and it is hard, but it will require discipline, especially since you won't see immediate results. So it's so easy to fall off this, but take it from me and the examples I provided. This strategy works, and I still use it to this day to land my current clientele and all these opportunities coming my way. So it works. It just requires a lot of discipline. And you might think, oh, that's really hard, but here's something I want to leave you with. This sounds hard, right? But unlike most people, they don't know this strategy that I just showed you. So they don't even know that this exists. They're kind of winging it. But you know this exists, right? So that already puts you ahead of 90% of people out there. On top of that, if they even knew this strategy, the odds of them doing it is going to be so low because it's hard and requires discipline. And this is where you stand out and you have a competitive advantage against all these other people. Because the truth is, this economy, and as I grow up, I keep learning more and more, it's a very competitive environment. And for example, there's a job opening, hundreds of people apply, right? Everyone will go through online applications, apply, but you already know the hiring manager from the strategy I showed. So you just, instead of applying, you just DM the hiring manager and they get you the job, right? You work your way around the system. You've made yourself more competitive and you'll stand out compared to the rest. Hell, even looking to lease an apartment, chances are if you're ever leased an apartment, you're competing against other applicants who are applying for the same apartment. However, if you use this strategy, you will know the landlord personally, and instead of having the landlord go through all these applications of people they don't know, you just shoot them a text and be like, hey, can I lease this apartment? And they're going to be like, yeah, and you'll get significant favor. They'll choose you more than the other people who just went through the online applications. Again, the world is very competitive. It's all about who you know. And this strategy is exactly how you build a powerful network that will land you countless opportunities and essentially make you more money. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace, peace, peace.